Professor Mander, considering India's experience during the debate of the food security law, what are the issues that underlie the discussion of the human rights-based approach when we talk about food security and right to food? Because almost everybody agrees that we have to eradicate hunger, but the way and the notion of obligation of the state is not so consensual.
So I think that in the world today, there'd be very few people who would say that a situation of persisting hunger and malnutrition is an acceptable situation. The big debate is really about what is the solution. And there is a very strong influential view that is taken over much of the world, not just in India, that states are in their very nature corrupt and slow and inefficient, and therefore the best reliance that we can have is on private globalized markets. If governments are able to facilitate a situation in which private investment comes in, then it will create wealth, it will create jobs, and once people have jobs, they'll have the money to buy their food and other requirements. Therefore the main role of the state, according to one view, is to create an environment for private investment. And therefore the alternate view is that even while markets function, there should be a floor of human dignity below which no one should be allowed to fall. And the state must provision food. So in the meanwhile, while we sort out the larger causes of hunger and malnutrition, we're saying that the state must provision food in a variety of ways as social protection. And so there's a farmer minimum support price. You buy the food from the farmers, you distribute it at very low costs to households universally. And then children in schools, infant feeding programs, maternity benefits, old age pensions, a framework of social protection, homeless people's soup kitchens, portable citizenship rights for migrants. There's a framework that we believe, according to the alternative view, that the state has to create a framework of provisioning for all people, rich and poor, men and women, children, old people.
In this regard, I think that the Supreme Court had a very important role to change the mindset or the consideration of the legal basis for the right to food in India.
See, the Supreme Court in India, we've had a very activist and progressive Supreme Court in our country. Conventionally, the idea which the literal interpretation of the Constitution does seem to suggest that civil political freedoms are those that you can secure from a court of law, whereas social economic rights like food and education, healthcare is something that is a moral claim on the state but not a legal claim. But the Supreme Court of India actually turned that on its head and said that no, if there is a fundamental right to life, it is also a right to that which makes life possible, and that to a life with dignity. So it's not even enough to have food and healthcare, but you have to have it in a dignified way. So a person who's kept in enslavement, a slave who's well fed, does not enjoy the right to life, according to this view. And therefore, it has created a framework in which the right to life is seen to include social and economic rights as well, legally enforceable in a court of law.